From the early 1990s, I've known there's something wrong with me. Very slight to begin with, and it was headaches and tiredness. And I've been to the GPs, I've had private appointments, I've even had a brain scan. I was finding myself in more and more discomfort. And in the end, my wife persuaded me to go again to see the doctor. And she listened to my chest and said, "Do not go home, go straight to hospital. There's something seriously wrong here." The consultant turned up and she told me quite blankly that I had less than a year to live. So I was in considerable shock then, because it seemed rather sudden, and they diagnosed mesothelioma. I was a history teacher at Richard Taunton College, a very short time. I got myself trained in pottery. I loved it. I joined the college in 1974, and I was teaching pottery there by the late 70s, and we moved to the hut, where I think there was a lot of asbestos, that the insulation, the inner cladding on the walls was coming away, and there was a real lot of nasty, dusty stuff, particularly unloading the kilns. We used very worn asbestos gloves to do this. It's very, very difficult for my wife, I believe. Imagine having to look at someone whom you do have a great affection for, and you see them without any reason, without anything that they've done being the cause, see them actually sort of fading away. In all fairness, I think that my wife ought to have some sort of compensation for not having me around. I think it's quite wrong that by the 1980s, when the dangers of asbestos were really well known, authorities were still permitting staff for whom they were responsible to work in what were basically unsafe conditions. So I brought the legal action in so that something can be done about the general situation. It is in order that those people who are in the same situation for me should not suffer so much. And since then I've been making things out of wood. I can't imagine a week going by when I don't make something, because you've got the pre-existence of the wood, you've got all sorts of things, life in the wood, that you can bring out as you're carving it. And above all, I make elephants. And my granddaughter asked for an elephant, so I made one, and I enjoyed making it so much. I thought I will become expert at making elephants. You do everything that you can do, and just accept that sometimes you might have to do a little bit less of it, and you might have to do it a bit more slowly. But just keep on doing it. And take all the enjoyment out of things that you possibly can.